and welcome back to the Prima Advanced User Forum. My name's Laura, and this week I'll be showing you some checks that we believe you should be doing on a daily and monthly basis. So these checks will help you streamline the running of your Prima client order process by making sure you're getting the best out of your operating system and by making sure your orders don't get backed up. So we've got Emma on the live chat today. So if you've got any questions, just let her know below. And at the end, as usual, I'll open the floor for questions. So I'm going to share my screen and we can get started. Okay, so first up, I'm going to show you what checks you or your Prima coordinator for each department should be doing each day. If you don't have a designated person, then we're happy to contact whoever you decide should be responsible for these tasks. So running these checks is important to keeping your database organised and your order process running smoothly. So if I just hop across to SOP, this is the first place we recommend you should be checking. So if we go into sales quotes, do you currently have any outstanding quotes still in your system that need to be turned into sales orders? So if you change your status over here to outstanding, and you can check through and see if any of these quotes need changing into sales orders. It's also important to see if you have any old or duplicate quotes in here as well. If so, you can go ahead and archive them, and that's just to ensure your database stays clean and tidy. You can actually set up an admin for sales quotes to automatically archive after a set period. So if that's something that you would like, please let us know. And while you're looking at your sales quotes before you change them into sales orders, there's a couple columns we recommend always checking. So checking your prices are correct in the costs and the retail, and checking your margins are also correct in here and adjusting them accordingly. So then we're going to move across to sales orders. This time I would recommend changing your status to outstanding and confirmed and hitting search. So have you got any sales orders at the end of the day that still need to be authorised? So firstly, check through any of the outstanding ones and also confirmed. So sometimes a user might have accidentally hit confirmed instead of authorised, and that order is just going to sit there not doing anything until it's actually authorised. So go ahead and any of them orders that you actually want to turn into real orders, go ahead and authorise them. And again, like we mentioned before with sales quotes, if you've got any duplicate or old orders in there, just go ahead and archive them, just so you're keeping your database nice and clean and tidy. Checking them columns again, the cost, profit margin and retail, just to make sure that all your margins are correct and your sell prices and cost prices as well. If they do need correcting, go ahead and correct them before you change them into sales orders. Okay, so I'm just going to move now across to SOP and imported orders. So do you have any orders at the end of the day that have come across that still need changing into sales orders and creating as orders? So changing your status in here, I would recommend changing to waiting dealer and hitting search. If there are orders in here that need to be created as sales orders, just simply click into the ones that do and go ahead and either process order or create an outstanding sale for them. So now we're going to move across into POP and requirements. So if I just quickly hop into here, is there anything left in your buying list from that day that needs purchasing today? That's just so it's ordered and arrives on time for your customers. To change your status over here to requested, just by using this drop down and click on any of the lines that do need to be purchased and bought today and added to purchase orders. Once you have done that, then move across into POP and orders and changing your status up here to outstanding firstly. So do you have any outstanding POs that need to be sent across to your vendor today? If you do, go ahead and process them outstanding ones. And then I recommend changing your status over here to awaiting acknowledgement and no acknowledgement. So if you go ahead and search on these, you may find you do have purchase orders in this status within Prima. And that may be that the vendor didn't get the purchase order for them ones. So if that is the case, then we always recommend giving the vendor a quick call and just checking if they've received them purchase orders, then giving us a call and we'll be able to assist you further from there. So now we're going to move across to stock and down to stock taking. So I always recommend at the end of every day checking to see if you still have any outstanding stock takes that need to be completed. This is just for various reasons, but sometimes if an item is on an outstanding stock take, then that item won't be able to be received in. So you can change your status up here to outstanding, or if you hit search at the top, you can filter on any outstanding sales orders in here. If you do have any that are outstanding, go ahead and click into them and just complete them. So we're just going to move now to movements. So these are the daily checks to make sure that your items are receipted in and dispatched out. So let's move to movements and receipts first. Okay, so are there any items that you physically received from the vendor that you need to receipt in? So go ahead and change your status in here to outstanding and hit search. So do you have any outstanding receipts notes that you physically need the stock for? These do need to be completed, otherwise your inventory is not going to be correct in Prima. I know a lot of people do have automation set up, but like we just mentioned, if an item's on an outstanding stock take, for example, then the EDC will not pick up the receipt note with the item on it. So then it won't be completed. So it's important just to check at the end of the day any of those receipt notes that need to be completed have them. You can also check if there's any items in receipts and available lines, and just seeing if any of these items still need to be receipted. Like we mentioned briefly before about automation, a lot of people do have automation set up for this based on the estimated delivery dates. But if you haven't, check that anything that has an estimated delivery date before today has been receipted in. So you can just search on any of them items over here and either add it to an outstanding receipt note or create and complete accordingly. So now we'll move across to dispatch. So we're just checking now if all the items have been delivered to the customer. So you can go ahead and check if they've been completed. So I always recommend leaving your status over here as all current and hitting search, and then you can filter on the status here. If there are any outstanding dispatch notes that need to be completed, go ahead and dispatch them as the customer received the item. And over here in available lines, if there is any items that need to be added to dispatch notes, so they've been delivered to the customer, then please add it to the dispatch note over here. So two more sections that we recommend checking in movements are customer returns and supplier returns. So they are pretty much the same in terms of where we recommend looking, just checking if you've got any outstanding customer returns in here that need to be completed, and similarly with supplier returns. That's just making sure they're not getting backed up. You can also check if there are any lines waiting to be put on a customer return or a supplier return by using the available lines button over here. So it's really important to keep on top of sales and purchasing daily. However, we recommend it's important to keep on top of invoices. We say daily, at least weekly, just to make sure everything's going across okay. So if we move into invoicing, so it is the last step in the sales order process, and it's important to do to make sure your invoices are being sent across to QuickBooks. So even though a lot of people do have automation set up now for invoicing, some invoices that have perhaps been created manually will not have been posted unless they've been manually posted. And from time to time, a lot of people know that invoices can fail to send, and that can be due to various reasons. So if we just go into sales invoicing, firstly, again, checking that status up here and changing it to outstanding, and seeing if there's any outstanding invoices currently showing in Prima at the end of the day that still need to be sent across to QuickBooks by completing and posting them. You can also check if there's any lines waiting to be added to invoices over here in available lines. And similarly with sales credits. So at the end of the day, if you've still got any sales credits left showing as outstanding that have not been completed and posted across to QuickBooks, to change the status over here change the status over here to outstanding and simply hit search. Now, it may be that some of the invoices or sales credits have failed to send, and like we mentioned before, that can be due to various reasons. So if we hop into general and then journal, and then over here in this blue bar, if you put in that sales invoice number or the sales credit number into the notes field and hit search, you will get a message which will explain to you why that invoice or sales credit has failed to post, and that can be through a number of different things. A lot of the ones we see is just due to the email address being incorrect, but that will show in here. Okay, so one way to manage all of these sales order processing checks is to set the tiles out in your dashboard to show as outstanding. So you can organize your tiles down here. The dashboard's the first thing you're going to see when you log into Prima, or if you click at the top over here. Now, it might be that you just work in sales, so you can organise your dashboard just to show sales quotes and sales orders, and then at the end of the day, you can just click into them outstanding ones rather than going into SOP and then quotes and then changing your status. To set up your dashboard, you simply hit Organise Tile. Now, these are all of the tiles that you can have show in Prima. The priority order usually it actually means that you can have them set up from 1 to 13, and that's just the order that they show in here. You simply need to choose the ones that you want to show in your dashboard. Simply give it a priority order and check this box here that says Show in Dashboard. So the last daily check we recommend is checking if there are any draft emails that have failed to send. So you do that over here in General and then Mail, and then drafts and hit search. I don't think there's actually any in this database. And they can fail to send a lot of the time as the email address is incorrect. If that is the case, then all you need to do is jump into that email, correct the email address and send it to your customer. And then as a bit of a housekeeping thing, just hop into that company and correct the email address in there. And that just saves it sitting in drafts next time. It's just going to send it straight across to the customer. So in addition to daily checks, we also recommend that you or your designated Prima coordinator complete monthly checks on the 1st of every month. And that's just to ensure that your database is ready for that upcoming month. So firstly, check your vendor catalogues. So keep an eye down here. As you can see, mine's currently orange, a little orange bubble, and that just means that your catalogues are ready to be, or there's a new publication and your catalogues need updating. So once approved, these catalogues will apply overnight in time for the start of the new month. So it's really important to get that done. You can also update your SPR best price files. So a lot of you guys use SPR. So if you hop into the company and then in the supplier tab up here, you can upload your best price file that you'd receive from SP. And that's just going to ensure you get the best prices. The correct prices. You can also update any non-EDI best price files via a terms file. So instead of uploading it in the company, this time you would actually get your file, you would download your the file from the Freshdesk article. And once completed, you would drop that into your imports folder on the machine that runs the EDC. So once you have done that, if you move across to publications and then terms at the bottom here, the file that you've currently dropped into that imports folder on the EDC machine will show up here. And then you just apply it to the correct catalogue down here. So just choose from the drop down and then simply hit apply terms to catalogue. So the next check we advise you to do is in regards to pricing. So if you use mailers, then remember to update them with the month's pricing. As costs can change every month, you may need to change your prices to adjust accordingly each month. So if you get mailers from SP or Ascendant, then you would need to import or replace with the new spreadsheet. So you'd simply click in to the relevant mailer that you wish to update. And using the pink bar over here, you can click import and replace. You can actually update the selling price for your mailer, and you can do that via a percentage, for example. So you would do that in the publications and mailer grid manager. So if I just show you how we would do that, we'll use this mailer down here. So simply choose the mailer that you wish to update the selling price by. hit search, and then in the change tab over here, you can update the selling price by choosing this checkbox and then applying it. If you use pricing brands, then you can also reapply that to the relevant catalogued item to each band to account for any newly added items. And this can be done in the publication grid manager. So if I just hop into there, you can choose your catalogue or product, hit search, and then within the change tab, you can update your pricing band by checking this box and then applying it. Also, if you use featured products, remember to update the list of featured items that are shown on your web store this month. And this can be done in the pricing grid manager. So the pricing grid manager you'd find over here in stock and then pricing. Also, while we're looking at stock, discontinue any items that no longer have a vendor available, so they're no longer available in Prima. If you don't want to discontinue, you can mark them as unavailable on the web. And you can do this en masse by searching for any product that no longer has a vendor against it. So that's within the main grid manager. So you would simply choose the products that have no vendor available, and then within the change searching, and then within the change tab up here, you can update the available on web status and apply in that. So we talked about invoicing before, so if you are doing this on a daily or weekly basis, then this should be fine, but making sure at the end of the month, you've posted all sales invoices for the previous month before closing out the month within QuickBooks. And again, just checking none of them invoices have failed to post for whatever reason. Also, within invoices, making sure you've posted all your purchase invoices for the previous month before closing that month out within QuickBooks. So just changing the status to outstanding and just checking if any of those have failed. If they have failed, again, like we said before, just go into the journals and finding out why, and then posting it across to QuickBooks before you close that month in QuickBooks. And just checking the draft folder in the mail again, just to see if any invoices have failed to send. Like we said, if you're doing that on a daily basis, that's going to be a quick and easy check because there shouldn't be much in there. So once all of your orders have been dispatched and received in for the previous month, so this is usually done on the first working day of the month, you should run a stock valuations report and do a physical stock check to confirm quantities on hand. If there are discrepancies, you can just do a stock take. So just go to new record and then stock take within Prima and just adjust your inventory levels. And once you've done your stock check, you should make a journal entry in QuickBooks for the difference in stock from the previous month, as that actually doesn't auto update. So it's important that you do that. The last check we recommend is just making sure you run your reports. Now, everyone will run their own end of month reports. I know a lot of people use this sales, invoices and credits with tax region summary report. So just making sure you run the necessary report for you. We can set up automatic reports. So if you let us know which ones that you would like to have set up, we can certainly go ahead and do that for you. So that's going to go ahead and conclude today's forum. And just a reminder that your catalogue should be available today in the orange bubble, as it is the end of the month. So if you apply them tonight, then they will be ready for Monday.